The Rise of the Nazis in Germany, a complex tapestry woven with threads of economic despair, political instability, and societal upheaval, began in the aftermath of World War I. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 919, imposed heavy reparations on Germany, crippling its economy and fostering a sense of humiliation among its populace. The treaty's harsh terms led to widespread resentment, creating fertile ground for radical ideologies to take root. In this volatile atmosphere, Adolf Hitler emerged as a key figure. A decorated veteran of World War I, he returned to a country grappling with defeat and disillusionment. Initially drawn to the German Workers' Party, he quickly became its most prominent voice, transforming it into the National Socialist German Workers' Party, NSDAP, or the Nazi Party. Hitler's oratory skills were unparalleled. He captivated audiences with promises of national rejuvenation, economic revival, and the restoration of Germany's former glory. His rhetoric was steeped in nationalism, anti-Semitism, and anti-communism, appealing to a populace desperate for change. The political landscape of the Weimar Republic was chaotic. Numerous parties vied for power, and frequent elections led to unstable coalitions. The economic crisis of the late 1920s, exacerbated by the Great Depression, further destabilized the government. Unemployment soared, and despair seeped into the fabric of society. In this climate, the Nazis positioned themselves as the solution to Germany's woes. They promised to revive the economy, restore order, and reclaim national pride. Their slogans resonated with the disillusioned masses, who were eager to embrace a new direction. Propaganda played a crucial role in the Nazis' ascent. Joseph Goebbels, appointed as the Minister of Propaganda, understood the power of media and imagery. The Nazis utilized posters, films, and rallies to disseminate their message. They crafted a narrative that portrayed Hitler as Germany's savior, a man who could lead them out of the darkness. The infamous Nuremberg rallies became spectacles of unity and strength, showcasing the party's power and the fervor of its supporters. The Nazis also exploited modern technology, using radio broadcasts to reach a broader audience, ensuring that their message permeated every corner of German society. The economic turmoil of the early 1930s provided the Nazis with an opportunity to expand their influence. As the traditional parties struggled to address the crisis, the Nazis capitalized on public discontent. In the July 1932 elections, the party won 230 seats in the Reichstag, becoming the largest party in the German parliament. This success was not merely a reflection of Hitler's charisma. It was also indicative of a broader societal shift. Many Germans, disillusioned with the Weimar Republic, were drawn to the Nazis' promises of stability and prosperity. The party's appeal cut across various demographics, attracting not only the working class, but also the middle class, who feared communism and sought security. Despite their electoral success, the Nazis faced challenges in forming a government. Political maneuvering ensued, with Hitler demanding the chancellorship. In January 1933, after a series of backroom deals, President Paul von Hindenburg appointed Hitler as chancellor, believing he could be controlled. This miscalculation would prove catastrophic. Almost immediately, Hitler moved to consolidate power. The Reichstag fire, in February 1933, provided a pretext for the Nazis to push through the Reichstag fire decree, suspending civil liberties and allowing for the arrest of political opponents. The event was shrouded in controversy, with many believing the Nazis orchestrated it to justify their crackdown on dissent. The March 1933 elections further solidified Nazi control. They used intimidation and violence against political adversaries, particularly communists and socialists, to sway the outcome. The Enabling Act, passed shortly after, effectively gave Hitler dictatorial powers, allowing him to enact laws without the Reichstag's approval. This marked a pivotal moment in the Nazis' rise, as they systematically dismantled the democratic institutions of the Weimar Republic. As the Nazis consolidated power, they implemented policies that reflected their ideology. The regime sought to create a homogeneous Aryan society, targeting Jews, communists, homosexuals, and other groups deemed undesirable. Propaganda campaigns portrayed Jews as the source of Germany's problems, fueling widespread anti-Semitism. The establishment of concentration camps for political prisoners and the implementation of the Nuremberg Laws in 1935, which stripped Jews of their citizenship and rights, marked the beginning of a systematic campaign of persecution. The reaction of various groups during this period was mixed. While many Germans embraced the Nazis' vision, others resisted. Socialists, communists, and trade unionists were among the first to face repression. The Catholic Church and some Protestant groups initially sought to negotiate with the regime, hoping to protect their interests. But as the Nazis' grip tightened, many found themselves at odds with the state. The confessing church emerged as a response to the regime's attempts to control religious institutions, advocating for a Christianity free from Nazi ideology. Internationally, the rise of the Nazis elicited concern, but the response was largely tepid. The global community was preoccupied with its own economic struggles, and many leaders underestimated the threat posed by Hitler. The policy of appeasement took root, as nations hoped to avoid conflict by accommodating the regime. Hitler's aggressive foreign policy, marked by the remilitarization of the Rhineland and the annexation of Austria, went largely unchallenged, emboldening him further. By the late 1930s, the Nazis had transformed Germany into a totalitarian state. The regime's control over every aspect of life was absolute, with the Gestapo enforcing loyalty and suppressing dissent. Propaganda continued to shape public perception, and the regime's successes in foreign policy, coupled with economic recovery, bolstered Hitler's popularity. However, beneath the surface, the seeds of destruction were sown, as the regime's policies set the stage for the horrors of World War II and the Holocaust. The rise of the Nazis was not an isolated phenomenon, but rather a reflection of a society grappling with profound changes and challenges. It was a confluence of individual ambition, societal discontent, and political miscalculations that allowed a radical ideology to take root and flourish. As Germany plunged into darkness, the lessons of this period remained starkly relevant, serving as a reminder of the fragility of democracy and the dangers of unchecked power.